Hygiene. Well,
Deodorant. That's the big one.
Don't come to the tattoo shop smelling really bad.
In situations where, maybe it's been like a long day, drinking the coffee, the mask comes in handy.
I hate when I'm tattooing legs and someone has like smelly feet or something like that, and then they just take the shoes off and sit there for 6 hours to sit there and smell it. It's terrible.
Take a shower before.
Wash your feet, brush your teeth. Just,
Deodorant.
come into the shop with good hygiene.
Some people come after a long day of work.
Yeah.
I get it, but just have deodorant.
One thing that would be pleasant is if everybody just brushed their teeth a little bit before they came in. I am working very closely to the mouth. Brush the teeth, little mouthwash. It's always nice.
Smelly feet. Oh my God, crusty, smelly feet. I had a tattoo like someone's foot. Maybe they had a long day or whatever, but it was just the most disgusting. I feel bad saying it, but just probably the most disgusting experience that I had tattooing.
In Russia, it'll be like, oh, hey, fuck you, dude, come another day. Just kick them out.
Prepping for a first tattoo, I think no matter if it's on the body or on the face, one thing you don't want to do is take anything.
Don't take any pain medication or painkillers. It pisses me off when I start tattooing and a person is bleeding a lot.
My mother came in and she wanted to cover up. My mother's pretty young. And she had some guy's name in her back. And I just she's like, you can cover it up. And I'm just like, all right, let's do this.
When I was getting my tattoo done and you kicked me out the shop.
Yeah, can you elaborate? Can you tell me more about it?
Okay, so I'm really not pain tolerant, and you were doing my tattoo, so I decided to have a couple of drinks.
A couple, okay.
To kind of relax myself.
Okay.
And I remember that
you were
instead
relaxed.
of relaxing, I got a little out of control and was screaming, because it was really painful.
That's the biggest understatement of 2019.
So it was really painful, and then he said, "Oh no, if you like it." He said, "Let's take her home. She goes home right now." And he said, "No, you can't take it. You can't take the pain. You're not being cooperative, and you kind of kicked me out."
She was just wild, and I just you're going home. I called her a cab, and I was just she didn't remember what happened the next day. I was just I'm never tattooing you again.
Yeah.
I had a client actually. She's a model, really famous Instagram model, and we met at an event, and she wanted to get a heart on her finger. So she drank before, and she didn't need the whole day because she was at events. And she comes in. I was ready. It was after 2 clients I had. It was 9 p.m. She comes in, sit in the chair. I put a transfer on. I start the machine with a foot pedal, and then she sits turn wide in the chair, and then she just slides down. And I call my friend. I was like, hey, she's gonna pass out. I didn't even touch her. I'm going with a machine like that. I was like, shit. And then and then we grab her arms and legs, put her on a massage table, and then she passed out, wakes up, and we bring her a Coke and a cookie, and she was the happiest person. She was like, oh my God, you made my day. I'm so happy. Let me hug you.
I would say don't bring your whole squad to get tattooed.
First, yeah.
Maybe a friend, maybe 2 is okay.
I would say only one.
Yeah.
That's enough. Some people come with father, mother, sister, husband, boyfriend, sons. Don't bring kids to the shop.
Don't bring kids.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Don't
That's
bring
a good
kids.
one.
I mean,
We love kids,
I get
but-
some people don't have anyone to leave the kid with. Just try to leave it somewhere else.
Yeah.
So the first one I have is tipping.
What about it?
Do it or don't do it.
Hell yeah. do this.
Of course.
For sure. In any
Double
shape or
tipping is
form.
good.
It's appreciated.
If you don't like the experience you had, I would say don't tip. That's what I say.
I would say the opposite. I'm a generous person. I think I would like to just carry that attitude throughout wherever I go.
Yeah, but if I didn't like the experience that I had with that person,
I
would
understand.
tip.
I understand completely. I think it's just everyone's preference.
sometimes if people don't tip, it's like whatever. But when they do, it's like it's very, very much appreciated. That's a big do for us.
I'll tell you one thing. I worked in Europe and I'm from Russia originally. Back then, I wouldn't get any tips, but people will bring gifts. They'll bring alcohol or something else. Mostly like old clients and friends. When I moved here, I used to get a lot of tips. But I know one thing. If you're not talking with a client during the process, if you're not friendly with them, if you just go in your zone and like tattoo, people don't usually tip because it's just like they get a product, but they don't get a service with the product. But if you, like people go to tattoo for more than, like it's more like a therapy, so they want to talk to an artist. So I used to talk to people a lot about their lives, and sometimes you give advice and then you get a good tip after all, because it's like more than just a tattoo experience. It's just being a psychiatrist or something.
Yes, good connections.
Just like any other service, I would say it's just.
We're giving a service, not only like a piece. So if you like what you got, and you like the experience, it's like tip.
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
Your tattoo artist.
I've had clients where they come in and they're just having a bad day at work and they're just taking it out on me or anybody in the shop, and it's just like, okay, this is not gonna work. We're just gonna end it right here.
It's gonna hurt. Like when they ask, is it gonna hurt? Yeah, it's a tattoo. It's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Like, of course.
Well, I would say if I started tattooing already when the client is like, oh, hey, let's change something, that's like the worst thing, and it's building a bad relationship between the artists. I had people, I would start tattooing and they'll tell me, oh, hey, let's switch this color to a different color. When I'm doing something, they don't even have like a good idea what it's gonna be, because I have a vision in my head and they trust me 100%, and then they're like, oh, actually, I don't like this yellow there, like just like do a teal or something, and I'm like, fuck.
Aftercare. Just don't go overboard. You know, your skin is gonna do what it has to do to heal. As long as you're maintaining it clean and sanitary, you're not letting any pets touch it.
Worst thing to do is just to go in the ocean with a fresh tattoo. I lived in Miami, I tattooed a lot of people that are tourists and they skip, like, they wouldn't listen to you and go with a fresh tattoo the next day in the ocean. And the salt water just make the wound heal like so fast and just pushes all the ink out.
Do listen to the tattoo artist recommendation.
Don't ask your friends.
Yeah, don't ask your friends. If you need to, call the shop.
Later when they come back, I'm like, oh, what is this? Like, you did it wrong. No, I saw on your Instagram, right next day you just went to a swimming pool in the ocean. You're like, you went to a vacation. Here you go, I told you not to do that.
Don't go in the water for like 2 weeks. Stay out of the sun for like 2 weeks as well.
If you're working construction is like, take care of it. Cover it. Don't go to the next day. And the next day you got the tattoo, go and get in construction with your forms just freshly done.
I had people treat a tattoo bad and it still healed fine. I even had like a crazy story. I had a friend, he's like a celebrity, and he went to a spa in a sauna with a second skin with a fresh tattoo and melted in a sauna. And then his tattoo still healed fine. But he calls me like after, he was like, fuck dude, he was like, what I do? And just like a melted second skin.
I would say before booking an appointment, they should give us reference of what they want, size, placement, style of the tattoo, some pictures so we can see what they really want to get.
Yeah, where your mind's at.
Yeah.
Don't DM me. The shop has emails. There's a great team that will take care of you.
Don't walk in the shop and sit there and be like, oh, hey, can I speak to Mikhail like today, right now? Like, can I have a consultation? I think it's the worst thing to do.
I would say do your research on the tattoo artist that you want to go to, or maybe the style that you want, so that you know that you can get what it is that you want. Kind of just blocks confusion, or just kind of weeds out like who it is that you want to get tattooed by, if you have a specific style in mind.
One thing I would say is like it's important to show up for the appointment that you scheduled. That would be a one big do for me.
Some people, they send email without saying anything. They're like, oh, hey bro, can I get tatted? And then you respond to them. They're like, what do you want? And they just like respond with one word, like I want a Grim Reaper, and you're like, where and how big, and and it just, sometimes they respond in a different thread, so it's like in a Gmail, but they respond each single message in like a new message. It's terrible what I'm gonna read. When I have like 100 other emails, I'm just gonna ignore it, and some people get pissed. They're like, hey bro, you didn't respond to my message last week. I'm like, dude, just put it together and like send a proper email.